Sarah Palin is threatening to sue author Joe McGinnis and his publisher for the new controversial book, The Rogue. In a letter obtained by ABC News, Palin's lawyer says the book contains a series of lies and rumors presented as fact and combined with anonymous sources. This Friday, a new film, Sarah Palin, You Betcha, opens in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. The 90-minute film is director Nick Broomfield's quest to find the real Sarah Palin. It starts with a hopeful first encounter with the former governor.
Hi there. What's your name? Nick, so nice to meet you. Appreciate you being here. Nice
Love you.
hat.
Yeah, I thought it might make you feel at home.
Yeah. Were you up there?
I was in Alaska. I might go back and do a documentary. I was wondering if you could maybe ask some questions when I come down there.
Well, I'll bet you I can do that.
Could you do that? That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, do you have a card or something you can
I
leave?
don't, but I'll leave one here.
Yeah. Okay, do that.
I'll contact you when I'm in Wasilla.
Okay, good. Thank you. Can't miss Wasilla.
Palin watchers will not be surprised that she never did grant that interview, but others did.
On September 13th, the church where Sarah Palin has worshiped for 6 years is sponsoring a Pray Away the Gay retreat for those who regrettably suffer from same-sex attraction.
Did Sarah and her church make people in the gay community frightened?
Oh, yeah. When the mayor of your town is saying that they don't like you, then, it's not a good thing. Because obviously people had to vote her in, so she's probably got a good backing of people that feel the same way.
Joining me now for an exclusive interview, award-winning director Nick Broomfield. Nick, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Us Broomfield fans know that in your documentaries, you tend to become a character in this story about how do we find this person. Is that what we see in this movie?
Well, I think it's one of the it's a way really of telling the story. And Sarah Palin, as you pointed out, was very reluctant really to be interviewed. And so it was really the quest, mainly talking to other fellow Republicans and people who had worked with her, to find the real Sarah Palin. And I'm the sort of MacGuffin that strings it along, the Clouseau character, probably.
Yes. And you did find some people who wanted to talk. One was the ex-brother-in-law, the semi-famous, briefly famous ex-brother-in-law who she had kind of a vendetta with. Let's look at that clip about the ex-brother-in-law.
Behind closed doors, she's not raising her kids. Somebody else is raising her kids. I raised her kids for 4 years, 4.5 years when Molly and I were together. When Todd was on the slope, those kids were always somebody else's house. And if they weren't and we were over at their house, she's yelling at them all the time. Go outside and play, get away from me, having arguments with them, calling them names. And I mean, it's just completely different from what she portrays herself to be in the public eye.
How do you judge the credibility of those kinds of interviews?
Because many other people, some of whom did not want to appear in camera, said exactly the same thing. People who had looked after Sarah's kids. When she was mayor, she used to drop them off at a friend's house. Time and time again, you would hear the same stories. And it was because of that that I included it, and I gave it the weight that I felt it deserved.
Did you find anybody who... what's the positive story of Sarah Palin in this film? Is there a positive picture of Sarah Palin?
I think the positive Sarah Palin story is she's someone with incredible will and discipline and charisma, and she has the ability to lead people and for them to believe in her. They don't necessarily believe in her for very long. There are an awful lot of people who gave their hearts and souls to Sarah, who talked in the film, who I think would have done anything for her. But then she turned, and I think that's why a lot of people came forward, because they were frightened about her having some real power.
And she clamped down on friends of hers, told them don't cooperate with this guy. Is that, you encountered that, right? That you weren't allowed to...
I think also there was just a genuine fear. Also, it's a small evangelical community. Mm-hmm. And the church is incredibly powerful.
Did they think you are the Antichrist? Did anyone ever accuse you of that?
No, they didn't. I was on best behavior.
Yeah.
I was on non-Antichrist behavior there. No, I got on very well with the people. They were very hospitable. But there was a fear in Wasilla. You do not want to cross the Palin Heath. You lose your job, and you have a hard time.
Now, if you had gotten the friends and the family and those people, it must have been her belief that you just wouldn't have presented them fairly.
Well, we did actually talk to the family, and we talked to various friends. I think Sarah has fallen out with almost everybody in Wasilla.
Did you talk to my pal Levi Johnson? He's done this show a couple of times. You know.
He was too expensive.
Oh, really? He had his hand out? He was asking for cash?
He certainly did.
He comes here for free.
We talked...
The magic of television.
I should have talked to you first.
Yeah.
We talked to his sister, though.
Oh, great. All right.
She was pretty good.
You got to watch the clip of him last week on this show reading from his own book. There are many people who suspect he was reading those words for the very first time. Nick Broomfield, director of Sarah Palin, You Betcha, thank you very much for joining us.